Hi, I'm Marita. Thanks for joining me today for a simple flow class. We'll start just with a few moments in stillness. So you might like to take a block, a cushion, a folded blanket, whatever you've got available, and elevate your hips slightly, sitting in any comfortable cross-legged position, preferably with your hips a little higher than your knees. You can rest your hands palms down or up. Just settle into a comfortable upright position and allow your eyes to gently close. And just begin to feel the subtle movements in your body created by each breath. Gentle expansion and contraction of your chest and your belly. And allow the breath to find its own steady, easy flow. And when we do begin to move in just a moment, try to remain conscious of the breath. And keep this sense of ease, this smooth quality to the inhalations and exhalations. And bring your palms together in front of your heart into Anjali Mudra, prayer position. Allow your eyes to gently open. And we'll start to warm up our chest and shoulders. As you inhale, lift your elbows to shoulder height, interlace your fingers. Exhale, press your palms forward and tuck your chin down into your chest, rounding your upper back. Inhale, take your arms up overhead, reach high up into your palms. And exhale, take your hands down behind your back and interlace your fingers. Inhale, squeeze palms and shoulder blades together, lift your sternum. And exhale, hands back to heart center. Inhale, lift your elbows, interlace your fingers. Exhale, press your palms forward, tuck your chin into your chest. Inhale, arms up, and if it's comfortable for your neck, lift your chin, look up. Exhale, hands down behind your back, interlace your fingers. Inhale, squeeze palms and shoulder blades, open your heart space. And exhale, hands back to heart center. Inhale, lift your elbows, interlace your fingers. Exhale, press your palms forward, tuck your chin. Inhale, arms up, and maybe gaze up. And exhale, hands down behind your back, interlock your fingers. Inhale as you open your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades. And exhale, just release your arms, keep your breath flowing. You can remove any props from underneath your buttocks. And then tucking your legs out to the side, just make your way up onto your hands and knees. Coming to a 4-point kneeling position, align your hips directly above your knees, your shoulders right above your wrists. Spread your fingers from thumbs to pinkies and press down firmly into the tips of your fingers and the base of your thumbs and index fingers. As you inhale, lift your tailbone towards the ceiling, lengthen your belly, draw your heart forward and look forward. Exhale, curl your tailbone under, round your back and tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, lift your tailbone, lengthen your belly, shine your heart through your arms. And exhale, curl your tailbone around your back, chin to chest. And continue with a few more cycles of Biddalasana or cat-cow. Just allowing the movement to follow the natural rhythm of your breath. And think about initiating each movement with your tailbone and then sequencing through one vertebra at a time, creating a wave-like motion through your spine. And just one more in your own time. Finish on the exhalation. And follow your breath in, just back into a neutral position. Keep a slight lift through your lower belly, just a sense of bracing slightly through your low belly. And as you inhale, take your right arm out to the right and up towards the sky, looking up if it's comfortable. Exhale, slide your right arm underneath the left, taking your shoulder right down to the floor. Inhale, slide it out, take your right arm to the sky. And exhale, slide through, shoulder to the floor. One more time. Inhale, reach the right arm up, opening your heart to the right. Exhale, slide through. This time we'll stay for a few breaths, your right shoulder and head resting down on the floor. Draw your left sitting bone back slightly, and you can choose to keep the left hand where it is, or creep the left fingers forward, creating as much length as you can from left fingertips to left sitting bone. And bring the left hand back to the floor in front of your face. Firmly plant it down. Inhale, slide your right arm out, take it all the way to the sky. And exhale, right hand back to the floor. Inhale, reach your left arm up, opening your heart to the left. Exhale, slide your left arm underneath the right, taking your shoulder to the mat. Inhale, slide it out, open up to the sky. Exhale, slide through. And one more time. Inhale, left arm up, gazing up if it's comfortable. Exhale, slide it all the way under. Shoulder to the mat, head to the mat. Draw the right sitting bone back slightly. And maybe creep your fingertips forward. Lengthening from right fingertips to right sitting bone, filling that space down the side of your body. Bring your right palm back to the floor. Plant it down. Inhale, slide the left arm out, take it to the sky. And exhale, left hand back to the floor. Crawl your hands forward, one extra hand span, so your wrists are slightly in front of your shoulders, spreading your fingers again. Inhale, tuck your toes under. And as you exhale, lift your knees, take your sitting bones towards the sky into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. In this first down dog, it might feel good to bend one knee and then the other, pedaling your legs out as if you're walking on the spot, just warming up a little through your hamstrings and calves. And you're welcome to give your hips a little side to side wiggle, like you're wagging your tail, and bending one knee, dropping your hips to that side, and moving any other way that starts to loosen up any tight areas in your body. And then whenever it feels like time, find a stillness in downward dog. Press your hands down and forward as you lift your sitting bones up and back. You're finding one long line of energy from hands to sitting bones. And if that means bending your knees, absolutely do so by all means. And from here, step your feet back a couple of inches and bring your big toes to touch each other. Starting the movement with your tailbone, inhale, curl your tailbone under, roll through your spine to come forward to plank, aligning shoulders above wrists. Exhale, bend your knees, lift your sitting bones up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, curl your tailbone under, roll forward, coming through to plank, a nice strong core. Exhale, bend your knees, feel like someone's scooping your tailbone up and back to downward dog. And one more time, inhale, roll through to plank. Exhale, bend your knees, pick up your tailbone, scoop back to downward dog. Then you can step your feet in slightly closer to your hands again, bring your feet back to hip distance. As you inhale, take your right leg up and back into a three-legged dog, keeping your hips level. Exhale, gently lift your gaze and lightly step your right foot up in between your hands. Release your back knee to the floor and just double check that the front knee is stacked directly above your heel. You might like to bring a block in underneath each hand. You can have them on their lowest, medium or tallest settings. And with your fingertips on the blocks, as you inhale, lift your heart, open up through your heart space. Exhale, reach your sitting bones back and your toes back. Inhale, bend your right knee, let your hips soften towards the earth as you lift and open your heart. Exhale, reach sitting bones back and toes back, extending the right leg. Inhale to bend, lift your heart. Exhale, work to keep that length through your front body as you reach sitting bones and toes back. One more time, inhale to bend. Exhale to extend, and this time we'll take a few breaths here. Those sitting bones both reaching back towards the wall behind you. Shine your heart forward, actively flex your right foot. And then imagine your right heel is glued to the mat and just lightly try to drag back, pull the mat back towards you. And re-bend your right knee, take your foot to the floor. Slide your blocks aside. Bring your palms to the floor. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and keeping your shoulders aligned above your wrists, step back into plank. And we'll take a breath in here in plank. Breathe out, release your knees to the floor, and gently lower all the way down to your belly, keeping your elbows tucked in by your ribs. Press the tops of your feet and your pubic bone into the floor, and inhale, lift your chest, just in a low cobra, hands light. Exhale, draw your belly in, press back to your knees, and all the way back into downward facing dog, sitting bones towards the sky. Just take a breath or two here in down dog, feeling the difference between your legs after one's had a little stretch out. And working to keep your hips level. Inhale, reach your left leg up and back. Exhale, land the left foot lightly up in between your hands. Release your back knee to the floor. And double check, front knee is stacked above your heel. You can bring your blocks in underneath your hands again. And as you inhale, let your hips soften towards the floor, lift your heart, shine it forward. Exhale, start to extend the left leg, reach your sitting bones and your toes back. Inhale, bend your left knee, hips lower down, heart lifts up. Exhale, and work to stay long through your front body. 2 more. Inhale to bend the front knee and open your heart. Exhale, extend. Inhale, bend the front knee, lift through your heart space. Exhale, extend, and this time we'll stay for a few breaths. And both sitting bones reach back, heart shines forward. And reach your toes back towards your forehead and feel like just lightly your left heel is pulling back on the mat, trying to drag the mat back towards the right knee. And breathe into the stretch down the back of your left leg. And bend your left knee, lower your foot back down. Move your blocks aside. Take your palms to the floor to frame your front foot, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and step back into plank. We'll take a single inhalation here. And as you exhale, knees down, lower down with control. Press the tops of your feet and your pubic bone down, and inhale, lift into a low cobra. Exhale, draw your belly in, press back to your knees, and all the way back into downward facing dog. And just taking tiny little steps, begin to walk your feet towards your hands, bend your knees as much as you need to on the way. At the front of your mat, keep your feet about hip width apart and parallel. Bend your knees enough to rest your ribs on your thighs and catch hold of opposite elbows. Press your feet down into the floor, feel the energy rising up your legs. And you can have a little side to side rock if that feels good. Or if your neck feels tight or tense, nod your head yes, shake it no. And release your arms. Let your head stay heavy, keep a little lift to your lower belly, and start to roll up, just stacking one vertebra on top of another. Let your head be the last thing to lift, and as you do lift your head, roll your shoulders back once, opening your heart and coming to stand tall. You're welcome to keep your feet hip width apart, or if it's comfortable for you to bring feet together, then you can do so. Big toes touching, outer edges of your feet parallel if that's comfortable for you. And stand tall, weight centered across the right foot and the left, the balls of your feet and your heels. As you exhale, turn your palms forward. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, and if it's comfortable for your neck, look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your hips, and fold forward, taking your hands to the floor. Find to keep your knees bent. Inhale, lift your heart, shine it forward. Exhale, plant your palms, step your left leg back and then the right into plank. We'll take a single breath in there. And as you breathe out, you can either lower your knees and lower to the floor, or lower your whole body halfway down for Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, either a low cobra or upward facing dog with nothing but hands and feet on the mat. Exhale, use your core to lift you back to downward facing dog. Keeping your hips level, inhale, take your right leg up and back. Exhale, lightly land the right foot up in between your hands, stacking knee above heel. Gently squeeze the mat between your feet, and as you inhale, sweep both arms up overhead into a crescent lunge. Exhale, pivot your back heel to the floor, open up into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. The back heel angled away from you slightly, right foot and right knee pointing directly forward. Align your shoulders above your hips, and then extending your arms, turn to gaze out along the right arm. Press down actively into the outer edge of the back foot, and find a sense of very lightly squeezing the front and back foot in towards each other. And keeping your legs exactly where they are, flip your front palm. Inhale, take your left hand to left leg, reach your right arm up and over. And exhale, cartwheel both hands to the floor, step back into plank. We'll take an inhalation in plank. Exhale, either knees down and lower down or lower halfway to the floor in Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And follow your exhalation back to downward dog. Hips stay level. Inhale, take your left leg to the sky. Exhale, lightly land it up in between your hands, stacking knee above heel. Squeeze the front and back foot in towards each other. And inhale, sweep your arms up overhead into a crescent lunge. Exhale, open up to your right into Warrior Two. Check your stance. Left foot and left knee pointing directly forward. Back toes turned in slightly. And can you activate the back leg anymore by anchoring into the outer edge of that foot? Now lift the arch of the foot, lift the inner ankle bone up away from the floor. Keep that activity through the back leg and just bend the front knee another ½ inch. Lengthen from fingertips to fingertips. At the same time, feel like you're plugging the head of the arm bones back into the shoulder sockets. Then flip your front palm. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Right hand to right leg, left arm up and over. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to the floor. And lightly, without dragging the left foot, step back into plank. Take an inhalation. Exhale, lower down, Chaturanga or to the floor. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. And gently lower both knees to the floor. Come down to all fours. If it's comfortable for you, you can cross one shin over the top of the other, roll back over your feet. If not, just uncross your legs, tuck your legs out to one side. And slide towards the front of your mat. Keep one of your blocks near the middle of your mat so it's within easy reach. And then slowly start to roll down onto your back. If your lower back is sensitive, use your hands on the floor for support. When you've come all the way down, step your heels in fairly close to your butt, and maybe just within reach or just outside of reach of your fingertips. Have your feet hip width apart, parallel to each other, and taking your block, tuck it in between your thighs. And just lightly squeeze the block and feel the muscles down your inner thighs engaging. Press both feet down into the floor. As you exhale, lift your tailbone, start to roll up through your spine, lifting up into a bridge. And once you've come up, keep your head centered. Your neck's in a slightly vulnerable position. You don't want to turn your head side to side. You can keep your arms alongside you, or bring your arms in underneath you, interlace your fingers, or walk up onto your shoulders a little more, coming up toward the top points of your shoulders. Keep pressing both feet firmly into the mat, and just keep that light squeeze of your block. Release your arms, unshrug your shoulders, And roll down one vertebra at a time. The lower back reaches the floor before your sacrum and your tailbone. And when you've come all the way down, move the block aside. Step your feet out a little wider and let your knees knock in against each other. We'll come into that same pose just one more time. And bring your feet back to hip width and parallel. This time you don't need to use a block, but imagine it's still there. There's still that slight hugging in of the thighs. Earth your feet, firmly connect with the ground. As you exhale, lift your tailbone, start to roll up through your spine. Arms alongside you, or interlock your hands underneath you and walk your shoulders in. It's just a little bit of a lift through your deeper core muscles. Just a light sense of bracing your lower belly to support your lower back. Knees stay hip width apart, so that slight drawing in of the knees. And notice what your glutes, your butt muscles are doing. And if you're clenching like mad, can you just let go halfway? So those muscles are active, but not overactive. Release your arms, wiggle your shoulders out, and roll your vertebra at a time. At the bottom, bring your feet out a bit wider. Let your knees knock in that TP shape. Just allow yourself a couple of resting breaths there. And when you've taken a few breaths there, you can bring your knees into your chest, give them a little squeeze. Maybe have a gentle rock side to side or around in a couple of little circles. Just whatever feels good for your lower back. And coming back to center. Take your left foot to the floor. Cross your right ankle over the left and flex your right foot to support and stabilize the knee joint. Lifting your left foot off the floor, you can interlace your hands behind your thigh or in front of your shin. As you exhale, draw your left leg in towards you. Keep the back of your neck long and relaxed. Your sacrum, that flat bony bit at the base of your spine, down on the floor. As you hug your left leg in towards you, you can use the strength in the right leg to open the right knee away from your right shoulder. And you want to feel the stretch around the back and the outside of the right hip. You're welcome to shift your weight slightly one side to the other. So notice how it changes. So find the spot where you're feeling a really nice stretch. Find the sweet spot and stay there. And release your left leg. Uncross the right. We'll change over. Cross left ankle over right knee. Flex your left foot. Lifting your right foot, interlace your hands behind your thigh or around the front of your shin. Use an exhalation to hug your right leg in towards you, only coming as far as you can without your sacrum lifting. You can use the strength in the left hip to open the left leg out away from you. And again, maybe just find a little bit of movement. Notice what changes, maybe the stretch moving into a slightly different spot, and hold wherever feels just right for your body today. Release your right leg. Uncross the left. Take your arms out wide, out in line with your shoulders. Lift your hips up, shift them to the right 4 or 5 inches. And you can pick your feet just up off the floor and exhale your knees down towards the left. You can stay in this nice simple twist. Or if you'd like to make it a little stronger, then you can cross the top leg over the bottom leg, or maybe even tuck your foot around behind your calf muscle. Try to keep both shoulders on the floor, and if it feels good for your neck, turn your head to look out over the right arm. You can even lie your left hand down over your legs, just gently weighing them down. Activate your core muscles, draw your lower belly in. Exhale your legs back up to the center. If they're wrapped, unwrap them. Take your feet to the floor, shift your hips back to center. Do a little scooch over to the left with your butt. Pick your feet up and exhale, lower your knees down to the right. And if you did on the first side, you can cross the top leg over the bottom leg, maybe even hook your foot around behind your calf, keeping both shoulders down on the mat, and maybe turning your head to the left, and maybe lying your right hand down over your legs. So letting go here for a few breaths. Start to gently squeeze your belly muscles like you're narrowing your waist. Exhale your legs back to the center. Unwrap, release your legs, realign your hips, and just give your knees a little squeeze into your chest again. Maybe rocking side to side or rocking in circles, or holding one knee in each hand, drawing some big mirror circles. A few one way, and then back the other way. And lower your feet down to the floor. Extend your legs, feet hip width, maybe even just a little wider. Arms down alongside you with your palms facing the ceiling. And just make any little adjustments that you need to so you feel comfortable here in Shavasana. And perhaps a slight scoop under of the tailbone, gentle tuck in of chin to chest, maybe wiggling your shoulders a little. And allow your eyes to close. Turn your inner gaze towards your heart space. Feel your limbs becoming heavy. The weight of your body melting into the floor. Just feel your belly gently rising and descending. And allow yourself to become more deeply relaxed with each exhalation. You can remain here in Shavasana for as long as you like. And thank you for joining me today. Namaste. If you would like to do more practices with me, you can hit the subscribe button. I look forward to seeing you again.